Hello, welcome to You Haven't Blanked That. I'm Forrest.
And this is Jimmy. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Jimmy.
So this week, for our guilty pleasures, we watched a little movie called Ready to Rumble.
Unfortunately.
Dude, this movie is fantastic. And especially now, it's 24 years since the movie's been released. And I thought to myself, damn it. If you figured over the time this would just get better, but it's 1,000 times better. It's 1,000 times better than I remember. It's the best movie I've ever seen. Gordy Boggs, David Arquette, and Sean Dawkins, Scott Kahn, are best friends who operate a sewage truck and idolize a pro wrestler, Jimmy King, Oliver Platt. After Diamond Dallas Page dethrones their hero, Gordy and Sean embark on their mission to help King get his title back. When they finally track him down, however, they discover the King is not too keen on recapturing his former glory. Can the boys find a way to motivate the failed champ? Time will tell. How great is this movie?
Dude, this is okay.
The greatest movie you've ever seen?
No. This movie...
Did you how many parts did you not laugh? Because it's got to be very few, because it's non-stop jokes. Constantly.
This movie is just crude jokes.
How's the weather in there? Cold today? Hot tamale? It's so good. It's the greatest movie.
It's not.
It's the greatest movie.
So, this movie feels like peak sleazy Hollywood.
What?
Just cashing in on gross out humor and the hot actors of the time.
How dare you?
Arquette, Scott Kahn, and Rose McGowan. This movie was written by surveys.
Okay. So, I don't know. Like this film is fantastic. The same people that wrote this film
wrote The Mighty Ducks.
Yes.
I know who Steve Brill is.
Yeah. And still nothing? No, like everything about this film I find charming. The friendship between Scott and David, fantastic. The fact that they're traveling in that shit van and it's leaking. And that none of it? Even like the liquor store scene where they're outside.
Where he's got his finger in his ass and then he's like, oh, my soda smells like poo.
Yeah, it's like, he goes, oh my God, how could you drink that? I don't know. All the butt juice seems to settle on the bottom.
Ahmed Zappa?
Yeah.
That's Frank Zappa's kid.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
But yeah, like all of it, none of it, you are, as a wrestling fan, so do you like old wrestling?
I like old wrestling, so it was nice seeing Macho Man.
Yeah.
When is it not?
Yeah.
But like this movie, like and they got people who are hot off of something or coming down.
Okay.
Because Joe Pantoliano's in this movie, hot off of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oliver Platt,
I thought he did a great job, but he looks slightly out of place with the other wrestlers.
You don't say. The doughy man looks out of shape.
But I feel they could have got I felt like they could have got like.
Well, they should have. What they should have done.
They should have got a wrestler with some acting chops.
No. He needed to be. They needed to train him for that movie and then let him get fat as the movie went on.
Yeah.
Like towards the end. You know what I mean? Like he needed to be way more in shape.
Yeah.
For that beginning scene, I like him.
Yeah. Then you got Sabrina's mom, our aunt, in the movie too.
Yeah, like Carolina Ray. I mean, there's people I don't mind the people in this movie. It's just not a good movie.
No, not like what are you talking about?
There's so much wasted talent in this
There's
movie.
not a wasted scene in this film. It's a perfect film, dude. It's a perfect film. The farty nuns. the nun singing Highway to Hell. Like none of it seemed. Oh, dude, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I saw it at the right time where I was like, this is a great movie, and then it just. I think that coreness just made me love this film even more.
This is 2 hours that should have been 90 minutes that I'm never gonna get back.
Dude, I felt like it should be longer. I thought it should be way longer. It's fantastic.
How is anybody hireable after this? That's what we're going through my mind.
Oh my god, no!
I was watching this movie. Also, this feels like it was a rejected Adam Sandler movie, especially being written by Stephen Brill.
Did you just write jokes? You wrote
no, but I like how you think my thoughts are funny because they're accurate.
Yeah.
How much of this budget went to Michael Buffer?
All of it went to the music talent, the cameos that were in this, because as for all the wrestlers that are in this movie, it's insane. It's insane.
Have you seen do you like any of the other wrestling movies, or is this just the one that you like? Did you ever see the Iron Claw? Did you watch that one? I didn't know who those brothers
Iron Claw,
were.
yeah.
I didn't know who the brothers were. So
no, oh dude, I fucking cried. I cried like a bitch in that.
I heard it's a good movie.
It's really good, and the brothers they're great, but like they all had like their tragic end, and in the film they kind of glossed through them pretty quickly. But like, dude, it still breaks my heart. It's still a sad story. My sister was a huge fan of the brothers.
I didn't know any of that. I think I probably got into it like right after.
But like yeah. So like I don't know. Like to me, like wrestling, like it's probably just me because my brothers and I were huge wrestling fans.
Is that okay? So that's why this is still a thing, and that's fine.
And I think that's probably where it's at. But like this
is
movie,
so okay. So and I don't say this to be like shitty. This isn't a shitty.
You're gonna bring up my dead brothers?
No, well, yes, in a way. But
Yeah.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you watch this movie a lot? Did you watch this movie a lot because you thought they would like this movie?
Yes.
Like you think they would have like 100%?
They would have loved this movie. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's probably like
that's probably why. Okay, that
I
makes
love
sense.
it so much.
You gotta tell me these things because now I feel like a piece of shit.
No, like
I mean, like here's your stupid wrestling movie.
So I love this movie. I love it
Yeah.
so much. But I also know its flaws. I also know that when you watch this film, for whatever fucking reason, if you're gonna make a wrestling film, it should be praising wrestling throughout the whole film. But this movie has a tendency to shit on wrestling
but it shits
every
on,
chance it gets.
It shits on it, but only to have those two characters come back and defend it.
Yeah.
That's why it's doing it, though.
But
because how are you supposed to have conflict if there's not someone saying, this is the same shit my grandma grandma would watch something and be like, well, I don't like that because it's mean. And I'm all, the villain is supposed to be a fucking asshole, Grandma. I don't know what else to tell you.
But, like, also, like, I feel like there's a lot of poop jokes in this film. There's tons of them. But I also find it super funny. I don't know. I think it's David Arquette's delivery which I find funny.
But you know what?
So he can say whatever he wants as long as he's saying it.
It's just, but that's the thing. He's just being David Arquette.
Yeah.
He's not putting on
razzle-dazzle
like he does in Scream.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, if this film is on, regardless of where I am, I'm sitting down, I'm quoting the movie as I'm watching it.
This feels like it was just supposed to be the basketball with wrestling. It's all.
Oh yeah. This is just supposed to be whatever. But like, it was one of those where it was like, I don't think the wrestling world needed this film, but I feel like as a fan of wrestling, it was something to like unite everybody because it was right when like all the wrestling was like being dispersed everywhere. So you had the WWC or the WC.
That's.
And then you had Monday Night
WCW. Okay.
And then you had the Nitro, and then you had all this other stuff, all happening at the same time. Where like certain wrestlers would leave, go to this agency, and then like you couldn't watch your wrestlers fight other wrestlers. So it was like this kind of
that wasn't a new thing at that point because WCW had been around since at least the late '80s, early '90s.
Right, but they were dying out. So this was like one of those where it's like, cool, let's bring all the wrestling fans together and unite over one film, which is Ready to Rumble, and then everybody's kind of like going back and forth. Plus, the story is like a fallen hero that's been kicked out, and then like his rise back to fame. It's just like when you watch that. Would you watch? Have you seen that? Have I talked to you about it?
Which one?
With Mick Foley and the Undertaker fight. The Cage in Hell. Have you ever seen that?
Hell in a Cell or
yeah. Have you ever seen that?
I don't know if I have.
Dude, that'll fucking break your heart. That is it's scary. It's terrifying, and these fuckers weigh like over 200+ pounds.
What?
They're on top of this cage that's only tied together with zip ties. That the cage is falling as they're fighting on top, and then they fall down, and then not only that, but like Mick Foley does this thing with tacks and fucking falls on his back, falls on his legs, breaks his fucking tooth, and it falls out in mid fight, and he's like pulled out in a fucking like chair. Vince McMahon comes in, fucking losing his mind because he's like he doesn't know what's going on because this is supposed to be the big show, and then one of the main guys is done, and they fucking wheel him away, and Mick Foley at the very end fucking rips out of the thing because he doesn't want to disappoint the fans, and he fucking just hobbles his way back to the front.
About?
Dude,
about him?
Watch it. Like, cause honestly, it's heartbreaking. It's so sad, and especially when his daughters talk about it because they cry because they're seeing their dad break themselves. And fucking Vince McMahon paid fucking zero money for his fucking hospital bills. He didn't give two shits about it, but he pocketed all that cash. And they got paid fucking like $1,500.
Have you watched that?
Fuck?
Have you watched that documentary? Oh, you don't have Netflix. You know, there's a Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix, right?
I heard about it. I haven't seen it yet, but
we haven't. We wanted to. We've been talking about watching it.
This came out after the
like
whole
2000s.
sexual harassment thing came out, right? The lawsuit came out.
This came out in the last at least in the last, I would say 3 to 6
So
months.
right after the whole lawsuit came out. So
I don't really made around that time.
Yeah. So I don't think the lawsuits.
No, but him. I can see it being in the very end. I mean, when you watch that Cosby documentary, they have Cosby getting out at the end.
Oh, jeez.
Have you watched that Cosby documentary?
No, I haven't.
That Cosby documentary is really good because it's fair.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bill Cosby did a lot of really good things. You know, they talk about the whole critical race theory.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby was talking about critical race theory in the 80s.
So I don't. Okay.
And so that was the thing, is like he did a whole like thing on TV about that, and then in the middle of all that, he's like raping.
Oh, jeez. So Vince McMahon's really good at weaseling out of situations. Well, he's been good at it for years.
Well, he's gonna get out of it in fucking January.
And then on not only that, but like when in the fucking 80s, when the fucking the WWF hired a guy to come in to be an announcer for the Wrestling Federation.
The one guy.
I forget. No, some random guy. He lasted maybe a month before they canned him. But they had him.
Is he like the fucking Barry Horowitz?
So they had him come in, and then it was Vince McMahon and then somebody else were telling him that they wanted his boy hole, and they were talking about all this stuff and saying, hey, if you cooperate, you'll get more time. And he says, no, like, I'm not doing that. And he goes, okay, cool. And they fired him right then and there. And then he took him to Sally Jesse Raphael and said, this bitch trying to fucking touch my butthole, and I want everyone to know about it. And then when you watch that clip, that old TV talk show clip, because Vince McMahon's there, fucking a bunch of wrestlers are there, and they're just talking about it, they're like, no, this is ridiculous. And they laugh it off. And the guy's like, no, like, he said, if I gave him sexual favors, this is what happened. And the whole audience is laughing. And the guy's like, this is not funny. I'm a fucking man who's like sexually harassed, and no one cares. Everyone's laughing it off because it's like, it just seemed like such a silly thing for a man to talk about sexual harassment. But the amount of sexual harassment that was going on, the amount of wife swapping that was happening in the WWF or the Wrestling Federation, the amount of just drug use, the stories were, it's just a plethora of just wild, dirty stories that were going on, and it's just like, kind of, what the fuck? Because that almost destroyed the whole fucking federation, and Vince McMahon fucking tap danced his way out of every fucking single one of those to the point where, like, he thought he was untouchable, where no one could fucking touch him. And then that's when he got like, oh yeah, let me shit on your chest and let me fucking have 5 guys run a train on you, and then I'll eat you out. Then it's just like, it's the most craziest thing that, like, it's just like, it's so weird seeing, like, I love wrestling. I love my heroes. I love hearing the wild stories beyond that. But also to know, like, as a fan, like, you don't care. Like, that's your ride or die. This is my favorite wrestler. Like, I'm going to take him to the very end. And then it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, like, I see myself in Gordy's, like shoes, where it's like, hey, I want to be that guy. I want to help my hero make it to the top, where he thinks he's failed. I want to push him forward and make him, like, better than, because he's better than he thinks he is. But I don't know. I genuinely just love this film. I think it's fantastic. And then because I even was, like, talking to Juan about doing that Luche Libre stuff with him for a while, and then it was one of those where it's like, then I got way into, like, the minor wrestling leagues that are out here. And one of my favorite wrestlers, I get a lot of grief about it too, because it's Joey Ryan. I love Joey Ryan. He's fantastic. fantastic stage presence, fantastic showmanship, whatever. But Joey Ryan also had a sexual like deviancy towards them, where he was like sleeping around and making a bunch of moves on like married people, and then like it got to the point where like they kicked him out of like the minor leagues. Did you not know this?
So he was sleeping around.
Hitting
on married people.
Fucking married people in the same hotel room. So when you tour like for wrestlings, like they give you.
No, I got you.
They give you a per diem, but only for like one room.
Yeah.
So you got 15 people sleeping in one room.
Gotcha.
All sweaty from like their wrestling match, and then moving on to the next room. So like, it's like it sucks because even like Juan would complain about like how he used to do it all the time, and it took so much more out of him than anything else.
Yeah.
Because like he would work at the hotels, and then he was like, I can't do both. I need to do one or the other. But he got super big in the wrestling world on his own. So like he was doing super good. But I think he's after COVID, that whole like league just kind of fell down. But like, I don't know. This movie, I loved it.
Wasn't it, and isn't it a little insensitive to have a wrestler super high up on a 3-cage match after the Owen Hart thing?
Right? Oh, dude, that was another heartbreaking thing, dude. Did you see that too? Have you seen the videos? Because they showed the videos out there. I don't like watching it.
I don't think I'd want to watch it.
It's oh, dude, that's so sad. Because it's like, fuck, dude, like, no. And to think no one like did anything to like prevent it. Like there could have been 1,000 different things you could have done. You know what I mean? And then, but, dude, in front of like everybody, in front of like kids that were there, that's devastating. That sucks.
So what other wrestling movies do you like? Have you ever seen Peanut Butter Falcon?
I have.
I like that movie.
I like that movie too.
That was a good movie. I like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
Not the movie I was expecting it to be, but it was really good. And then Jake the Snake just going like, I'm gonna go full on this guy.
Yeah. Dude, did you see the Jake the Snake documentary?
No, I keep hearing that's a really good one too.
Oh,
like heartbreaking as well.
It sucks because like my favorite wrestler, there's a bunch of different ones. Jake the Snake, I love him, but Razor Ramon.
Oh,
Scott Hall.
Yeah,
Scott Hall is fantastic.
And is it kind of like a backdoor Scott Hall one too?
So
then?
Scott Hall's there because Jake the Snake is fucking like he's dying out. They go to see Scott Hall. Scott Hall is in a wheelchair. And you're
because he was fucking like just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, dude. And it's just, and the thing is like, because nobody takes care of these wrestlers. Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit.
No,
he's never sent any money to help any of them. That all the wrestlers are living fucking in trailers, just like Jimmy King was in this movie. Yeah. Fucking like trying to get by, and then you get these wrestlers like
Roddy Piper was living out of a fucking car.
Dude, right? That's heartbreaking. His documentary too. The WWC has a like mini docs on different wrestlers. There's a fantastic one with Rowdy, and his daughter's doing like a lot of the talking in it because obviously he's passed away. And then it talks about
this is a little more recent. Then.
Yeah,
isn't there one without him?
Yeah,
one with him still alive that they made too when he was alive.
But then, but the one with Rowdy is like the one where his daughter is like talking about him growing up and being like a bully and being like abused, and then but then it also leads to Ronda Rousey, how she took the moniker Rowdy.
Yeah.
And then she called the family asking if it was okay, and then they said, yeah, Dad would be more than happy for you to have it. So they gave it to her. So it's one of those where it's like it's cool to see like the branching between like just wrestling to the UFC. Like it's just it all kind of like I don't know, like they're a really tight family, and to see them all take care of themselves in their older years is heartbreaking. But it's like no one else is doing it. No one else cares.
Are they starting to do it a little bit more?
I think that show kind of gave it out that way.
Is that the Dark Side of the Ring one?
No, it was just a...
Did you ever watch any of those?
I did see those.
Is that good or no?
Those are pretty good. And then also, there's a great one, too, which it's with the DiBiase's family.
You told me about this one before.
And that one was really good, The $1 Million Man. And then his son's like... I felt he was a piece of shit because he cornered his dad in like this weird, like... You brought him out here to just bully him and ask him, like, how dare you cheat on mom and blah, blah. I'm like, don't... What the fuck are you doing? Like this is not your documentary for your bullshit. Because he tried to be a wrestler and he was okay. He wasn't great, but he wasn't his dad.
Yeah, well, his dad was
$1
million man.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But it's one of those where it's like I don't know. This movie, the movie itself it's an okay film, but I think with my love for wrestling, my love for like everything else attached to it, like seeing all these wrestlers come in to be a part of something is special, and like I really enjoy it. Like it's one of my favorite films. I love it.
Did you watch Young Rock at all?
Which one?
Young Rock.
No.
There's a really, really nice... So this is more like the other side of, like, them not being shitty.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I think there's a little bit, but not as much. Like, it's, like, really nice. There's a really nice Andre the Giant episode.
Oh, cool.
It's, like, one of the... And so what happens is he wants to go help out on something, and they won't let him.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, can you go hang out with them for a bit? They tell Andre the Giant, hey, can you hang out with them for a bit? Now they're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think Andre the Giant was like. That's where he first started wrestling, was in Hawaii with all them, right? So the whole episode is them hanging out, The Rock and Andre the Giant hanging out. And then he wants to go to a movie, but Andre the Giant's like, well, no, I can't go to a movie because I'm too tall, and everybody complains behind me, and I get called names and stuff. And so he's feeling bad about being too small, and that he can't help. And he feels like he's too big. Yeah. And it's a really, really nice episode. And at the end, they end up going to a movie. And it's him and Andre the Giant going to a movie.
Oh, that's cool. So Andre the Giant, there's a story where he was going to a wrestling show, but they had to drive cross country.
Yeah.
And so they were at one show, and they ended up going to another one. And then they had to pick up somebody else to like be in the car with them, but it was just a van. And so in the back was Andre the Giant because he couldn't fit in a normal seat. So he was just in like just an empty van.
Yeah.
And he had 12 cases of beers and just like sitting there. And he goes, okay, cool, we're gonna do this. And like Andre, don't drink. We have a show going on. He goes, bah. And like he would like because his hands were so big that the soda would be in the middle of his palm. He was a massive dude.
I know.
And so he would crush 12 cases of beer by himself and then go out and wrestle. And like he just never missed a beat. He was always on time, always on mark, always making all his hits. But like the amount of alcohol that guy drank is crazy. But for being that tall and that massive, yeah, dude. Because those 12 cases of beers probably gave him like a decent buzz, but didn't get him drunk. And it's like,
well, he did die at 43.
Dude, right?
I remember watching the news when that happened.
Dude, yeah. No, there's a lot of wrestlers that break my heart. There's some of them that like you just like hear these terrible stories where like they go to Costa Rica or they go to like Mexico to do these like smaller wrestling venues just to get paid, and then like there was one wrestler who was fucking stabbed in the heart, and everybody saw the guy who stabbed him, and the guy's living free, and no one touched him, and you're like, what the fuck? And there's supposedly a rumor that he's part of a cartel or whatever, so like they kind of laid off of him, but it's like, dude, like you get wrestlers that are barely making it here, traveling internationally just to get some cash, and then like they're just tossed away. It's insane. But yeah, like I like wrestling.
Did you watch the last Ric Flair match or whatever that they had?
No, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. I love him, but woo, he's out there. But dude, that amount of women Ric Flair slept with is insane.
Yeah.
And then like there's like a famous the famous flight that Ric Flair took, and it was Ric Flair, Superfly. I think it was all the Diamond Dallas Page on the flight. Like everybody was on this flight, and Ric Flair came out of the he was just wearing his Nature Boy like robe, but he had nothing on, and like he was like talking to the stewardess, talking about like, oh, like blah blah blah, and he's just pulling it out and just like, hey, this is where it's at. And then like the drugs and the sex that were happening on the plane, it was just like it. Yeah, no, people, it's insane. It's insane, like how these wrestlers were just like untouchable. You know what I mean?
Did you watch? Eastbound and Down, right?
Yes.
You know that character that Will Ferrell plays is based on Ric Flair, right?
Oh, is it? No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, when you
that
watch
makes perfect
that
sense.
show.
Yeah, because Ric Flair, he's the Nature Boy is great. I love him, but he's a bit much. He's a bit much. All these wrestlers are super selfish, super like, because you have to be. If you don't fight for yourself, who's gonna like push you up there? But like, it's a bummer watching some of these. Like, I'm not a huge Nature Boy fan, but I do like him.
So we ask a question each week.
Oh, Corey Feldman. Who would I put him? I would put him as Sinclair, the promoter, the main villain. He'd be like the Vince McMahon, the guy with the cowboy hat, the leather cowboy hat. Like, because I could see him just being perfect for that role.
Who, for Joey Pants' role?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. You're gonna replace Joey Pants?
Where would you put him?
He would have to be just a wrestler of some sort.
Yeah, see, I need him to be in the film. So
no, he would be in the film.
Yeah.
He'd be one of those wrestlers.
Oh, you know who would be good? But I actually like his performance too. Is the Quickie Mart guy?
Ahmed Zappa.
Yeah.
I mean, same level.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, but that wrestling match I thought that was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen in like where like he goes in that fantasy world where he goes in the Quickie Mart to fight for his slushie.
Yeah.
And then like the camera pans back and then you see that like the ring is the supermarket, and then like they have like the tile of the Quickie Mart or whatever is on the mat on the ring. I'm like, oh, that was pretty dope. And they have that little breakdown. I was just waiting for the Slim Jim commercial to break out into it, but I thought it was super good. Hey, Forrest!
Hey, Jimmy.
So what have you been blanking?
Oh my God, so much. Well, it's the end of the Christmas season.
Christmas season!
Did you watch any Christmas movies this year? Any new Christmas movies?
I watched The Rock and Chris Evans.
Oh, the red one?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's okay. It's like, it's weird because it's more like a teenager
movie?
like maybe pre-teens movie than it is like a children's movie or an adult movie.
I saw Dear Santa, and you can say the same thing about that. But it's the Ferrellis. That one was. Do you know what Dear Santa was?
No.
The Jack Black one, where the kid's dyslexic and he writes a letter to Satan.
Oh,
Santa,
yeah.
And Jack Black is Satan.
How was that?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was. You have 3 wishes and your soul is mine type of story.
Santa's a genie.
Essentially.
Okay.
And so the payoff at the end, like if you I know you've seen a Farrelly Brothers movie, you know there's always a payoff, like there's always a punchline right before the credits.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole it's the punchline for the movie.
Yes.
This one is perfect. Like the movie is just okay itself, but the punchline for the movie, oh, so damn good, and the way it just shift changes in like 30 seconds. Oh, fucking perfect.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
I watched obviously the Christmas movies. I normally watch Mixed Nuts, which was on TV as you walked in today.
I'm aware.
And then I watched Gremlins, Die Hard. What else? Batman Returns.
I watched a little bit of Batman Returns. I showed Emily it because of Pee-wee as Penguin's dad at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, look and see who's Penguin's dad. And yeah, that was. It's been a minute since I've watched Batman Returns. I didn't finish it. We had stuff to do.
And then I watched King of the Underworld.
What's that?
It's a 1939 film about mobsters. It was pretty good. Then I watched The Roaring Twenties, 1939 film as well about gangsters, which made me want to watch Dick Tracy because it was like it has that same vibe to it.
Such a good damn movie.
The Two Mrs. Carols. Have you seen that one? That's
where
where they have that Sleigh Bell song by Judy Garland come out. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, whatever. So
yes, I did. Was she holding a drink?
She was holding a drink. She was drinking in that film too. And then
what?
Yeah, and then
I am shocked.
I watched San Quentin. The Wagons Roll at at Night. Casablanca. Marked Woman. I was watching so many movies. The Return of Dr. X. The Goonies, A Christmas Story, and I watched the Christmas Story 2 again. The
Christmas Story Christmas?
Yeah.
Dude, I like that.
I loved it.
You know what, dude? It's one of those, you know what it is? It's like that sequel to Trainspotting. Okay. It's just as good.
Yeah.
I feel it's just as good as the original.
Yeah, I loved it.
And I know people are like, no, it's not. No.
There's a couple of cheesy parts in the film, but like you need it for Christmas.
It's a fucking Christmas movie.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
Marine Raiders, I watched as well. Gods of Egypt. I watched 10 minutes of that before I'm like, nope.
Is that the animated one or is that the fighty one?
That's the fighty one with Gerard Butler in it.
Oh, okay, yeah, the one that the guy who made what do you call it? Fucking The Crow made.
Yeah, I watched Goodfellas because I figured that was a Christmas movie. Turns out not a Christmas movie.
Not a Christmas movie, but a great movie nonetheless.
It All Came True, another movie, and then Jupiter's Ascending.
How was that?
Jupiter Ascending, I liked it. It was good. Like you could tell where like
call it the Wachowskis.
Yeah, the giant space opera that they were doing it just fell flat. It was okay. Like it felt like it could have been way better, but it just didn't happen. The Shop Around the Corner, another old movie. Four Christmases.
That's the Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
I don't like Reese Witherspoon, but I know that movie is okay. Did you notice who's in that movie also though? Playing video games on the couch. Because the guy who directed that movie directed King of Kongs, and the guy, you remember, they're in a house and someone...
Fucking Billy Zane?
No. Steve Weeby's on that. Steve Weeby on the couch
playing video games. Is it? Yeah. Passage to Marcelli.
So what, I'm sorry?
Marcelli?
Keep going.
Marcelli.
Marseille?
Marseille? M-A-R-S-E-I-L-L-E.
Yeah, Marseille is French.
Marcelli.
It's French.
I'm sorry, this is America.
America.
Gone with the Wind. And
not a Christmas movie either, bud.
Yeah. Oh, I did have a time where I was watching because I was in a giant Pink Floyd mood again, and I didn't know what to do. So I was like, okay, do I want to listen to the album? So I watched The Wizard of Oz, and then I had like music playing in the background.
It's much easier. I'm sure. I bet you it's much easier to do it when you were just like, oh, here's my phone.
Yeah, for sure. It was nice. It was cool. It's been a minute since I've seen it.
I watched a movie called Hundreds of Beavers.
Hundreds of Beavers.
The way I would describe this movie is if Charlie Chaplin and Looney Tunes, right? It's that type of like kind of slapsticky humor, but you mix it with video game and like a Mario game and Dragon's Lair. And
okay,
it sounds really stupid, but it's a really simple premise, but it's so fucking good.
Do you know, watching Home Alone this time around, I watched it twice here at my sister's house.
Yeah.
On The Grinch, I saw The Grinch.
The cartoon?
Cartoon.
The Mosier one?
Yeah.
No, Scott Mosier.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, but Home Alone, it's literally watching Looney Tunes. That's what it is.
Well, yeah.
Because it's very slapstick comedy with the fire, with the screaming, with like... It's just like watching a Tom and Jerry episode, but like adults. Like, and I never clicked it in for me until like watching it this time around. Like, oh yeah, it's exactly that.
Did you watch Alien Romulus?
I did.
What'd you think?
I might have talked to you or somebody else about it, but I was saying like, I was bummed because like every time I saw something online, it said like how terrifying it was. I'm like, dude, I don't want to be by myself watching that film and then like freak out.
It's scary as the first one.
But the thing is, like, I don't know why I listen to these fucking people on Twitter because all they do is hype up their own shit.
Pussy ass kids who don't know horror.
Yeah, they hype up
all this. Sat through Evil Dead.
Yeah, because they hype them up to get people in there like, oh, it's scary, and then like watching it, I'm like. There's nothing there's jump scares, of course, but like.
But it's an alien movie. There's supposed to be fucking jump scares.
Yeah, and it's nothing worse than anything I've ever seen. So I'm like, dude, like this is fucking stupid. I could have given money to the theaters rather than watching it at home.
Well, I think it was you and I who talked about this. The thing when they give Fede Alvarez like IP, like a franchise, he pretty much sets up the Hitchcock bomb under the table.
Okay,
where it's like, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But they don't know what's going to happen. So everybody's excited because we know these people are walking into a fucking trap.
Everyone except for one person is going to
die. We know what's going to happen with it. And so I think that... And and also, an argument can also be made that that's every horror flick in general.
Yeah.
Like, we know the tropes at this point. You know what I mean? So you can even say... 100% say, well, that's every fucking horror movie at this point, and you wouldn't be wrong in saying so.
And then with this film, like it changes nothing in the story.
I don't give a shit about that. I don't. But,
like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
okay, but you can't. You like some of the Star Wars stuff that doesn't change anything in that story.
Yeah,
but
like I'm saying, like it's one of those.
But you're not gonna.
Well, my thing is just like if like you're putting a film in, you're making a film like what 40 years after the original came out, and then now you're
just sticking it
in between films, and you're like, okay, well, just make a better movie or make an original movie somewhere in between or before, like.
Well, the other thing,
it's like they're just purposely filling in gaps just to like get a movie out. But I liked it though. I thought it was good. I just.
But I mean, anything you do at this point is going to do that. Star Wars is going to do that.
That's true.
This is this does anything that they're going to do with the franchises they own. That's what they're going to do, with the exception of Marvel, because they were able to fucking start. They made this giant fucking franchise and storyline. I watched like 10 minutes of Transformers 1, then I fell asleep.
Okay.
That's the cartoon one.
Is what's her face in it?
It's
our friend. No, she's not. She's in this cartoon show.
Oh no, that's not that one.
Yeah.
No, she's on the cartoon show. I watched Beetlejuice.
Oh, what'd you think?
It was very much templated after the first movie. Spoilers. I like that they killed Catherine O'Hara. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, right.
That was really good. I was like, oh, they're not going to... I like that.
I like she died too. Ah!
Yeah.
They defanged them.
Yeah. That's why I was like, oh. I think that was hidden really well that was going to happen.
Yeah, no, yeah. I didn't see it.
But you should have seen it a mile away, because like everything's fucking up for her. Like everything she's doing at the beginning of the movie, and even in the first movie, kept fucking up for her. Like she never got anything right.
Yeah.
So you should have guessed
it was going to happen.
Yeah. So I like that. It was really weird, the whole, like, I don't have, the Jeffrey Jones doesn't have a head.
Okay, right.
Charles didn't have a head the whole time.
So, obviously, you know why he didn't have
I know why.
Yeah.
But they had that picture of him on the gravestone.
Yeah, they had...
So either one of two things happened. He either had to get paid for his likeness. You know what I mean? Even if they're throwing him $100,000, like, hey, you're going to be on the screen for fucking 2 seconds, or they were able to, like, just be like, oh, well, this is from the first movie.
Yeah,
we have the first movie, and we just took a picture from the first movie.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see the movie. There's 2 movies out that I want to see. I don't know if I'll see them in the theaters, but I'm going to try to make it. One of them is a sensation right now, from what I hear. It's a movie called Better Man, and it's the life story of Robbie Williams. And Robbie Williams is played by a CGI chimpanzee.
So
it's like Planet of the Apes and Robbie Williams in one.
So I have a question.
I'm excited.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it playing really big in England, but not so much here?
Oh, huge here.
It's so huge here.
So huge.
Oh, is it now?
Massively huge.
Massively huge, huh?
There's lines at the cinema demanding for more showings.
Are there now?
Yeah.
Let's see.
And then a second movie.
Oh, it's breaking down barriers with that 7.3.
Yeah, 7.3 billion. Jesus, dude.
Those stars.
But yes, I want to see that so bad. And then also the other movie I want to see is Nosferatu, and that's the guy who directed Lighthouse, and he directed the other films, The Witches.
The Witch and
The Witch.
What's the Northman?
The Northman. There you go. Thank you.
I just told a friend to watch Shadow of the Vampire.
Oh, okay, nice.
She's never seen it.
Oh my god, she's gonna love it.
I think, yeah. She was like, She was like, I want to see Nosferatu really bad, and I'm like, you need to see Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah. And
I also told her to watch Gods and Monsters.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Gods and Monsters?
Yeah.
You know what that one is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but going off of Nosferatu, going back to our discussion when we had that our vampire episode, they're going to do the Bram Stoker's Dracula episode. They're gonna go a different route with the story, from what I heard, and they're gonna do more. Count Orlok is gonna be a wizard or a sorcerer. Remember how I told you there was always whispers of like Dracula controlling the weathers, because there was a secret cult that was going off of that, and so basically he's he's a man who studied the dark arts, who encountered a book and then got a demon to damn him with eternal life, and then so that's how his vampire is portrayed. So like it's kind of cool how it's using all the old mythos of like the vampires to create his vampires. So it's going to be like a lot different than like
the tradition of vampires. That guy makes good ass movies. The rumor that I heard is that guy is making another Labyrinth.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm interested.
Yeah.
I don't know who I don't know who he's gonna get to be the Goblin King or whatever their equivalent is.
Jared Leto.
No.
I mean, he did a fantastic Joker. I don't see why he couldn't be a fantastic Goblin King. You're telling me Jared Leto's Joker is not the best Joker you've seen?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I like Barry Keoghan's fucking Joker, and you only see him for 2 minutes. You don't even see his goddamn face.
Yeah, I guess he was okay. Oh, speaking of Batman, release date of the Batman 2
2027
is October 2027.
Yeah.
So it's like another 2 years
fine.
ago. And
That's fine.
I figured the production of the Penguin pushed it back.
Are you watching Penguin at all? Did you get through?
I've finished Penguin.
I've not. I'm about halfway through, and I like what I've seen.
So
it's you think it's going to be one show, and then it just takes another fucking direction every time.
So
and it's very. I mean, it's essentially
Sopranos.
Well, no, I think that's an unfair assessment of it.
Okay.
It's essential, but it feels like it's just Long Halloween without Batman in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, that's what it feels like to me. It's all that mob shit that's in the Long Halloween.
I feel because what the references of like the characters that are going to be in Penguin or the second season of Penguin, and what they wanted to use for Batman, the sequel for Batman, is they're probably gonna have to switch it out for different stories. So I think they're gonna go for the Long Halloween.
Well, I heard they're gonna do a Clayface movie, but I don't think it's gonna be in James Gunn's. I think it's gonna be in Matt Reeves. I feel like the Clayface is gonna fit more in the Matt Reeves stories.
I don't think so because he doesn't want to do anything supernatural or.
Well, he was gonna do that. That was the rumors that they were gonna do a Clayface.
Really, I just don't see a Clayface being in that world.
Why?
Because he's trying to keep it more realistic, more grounded.
Yeah,
and
but
to throw a Clayface...
I think it would work.
It would be cool. I don't think it'll work, though.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Forrest.
For Guilty Pleasure Month, we're going to watch a little movie called Riding in Cars with Boys.
Yeah. I have no idea what this movie is. It's, I'm assuming, little brother hangs out with older brothers in cars.
We'll find out next week. Well, that's going to do it for the episode this week. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us up at our Instagram
at YHBlankThat.
Or you can email us at yhblankthat@gmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.